whether it's pass protection, whether it's talent. There's all these little squabbles going on right now. And I think because of Russell's contract situation, there's not a whole lot the Seahawks can do as far as moving him somewhere else, even if they wanted to. So I think he's definitely there this year, unless they just want to take a hit and not become a really good football team for a year or so. But I think that the marriage is not going to end very well going down the road. I think this squabble is going to turn into more of a separation and then a divorce at some point.
Boy, everybody's got some input on what's going to happen out there in Seattle. Brandon Marshall, what is your reaction to Warren Moon's comments?
All right, every day when I sit in this chair, I got to figure out, like, okay, how do I occupy this seat? And what's my role on this show? I'm a ex-football player that loves football, can talk a little ball, loves basketball, big fan in basketball, so I can talk a little ball there. There's a difference between reporting and opining. Opining is giving one's opinion. All right, and that's what we usually do. We give our commentary, we give our analysis, right? But then there's some reporting. Some of the best in the business is Jay Glazer. He reports. He talks on facts and what he knows. Adam Schefter, he reports. He talks on what he knows. Every once in a while, they may opine here and there. Right now, me who opines a lot, me who gives my color analysis and gives my commentary, I am about to report. This conversation is over. Russell Wilson is going to be a Seattle Seahawk for a very long time. Now, we can't predict the future. We don't know if, you got so many things that can come into play down the road. We know that. But right now, Pete Carroll sat down and said, you know what? The philosophy difference, the change, the difference in philosophy that we had, let's get on the same page. I need to give my Hall of Fame quarterback everything he needs to be successful and lead this team. They're on the same page. I would say their relationship is probably better now than it's ever been. So sometimes you got to go through this. You talk about marriage, you talk, even the great Warren Moon, opining. Love it. He's giving his opinion on it. Talking about marriage and it's rocky right now and it's going to end rough next year. No, it's not. They're on the same page right now. And Russell Wilson, Nick, he wants to be a Seattle Seahawk for a very long time. He really loves Kobe Bryant's story. He really loves Derek Jeter's story where we're talking about somebody stayed in one organization for 20 years. The problem is those guys won. He has won, but that was a very long time again. Russell Wilson is not thinking about Super Bowl II. He's thinking about Super Bowl III, Super Bowl IV. He's literally thinking that. I played with the guy. So right now, I am reporting this because Russell's not talking. Pete Carroll's not talking. And every day we're going to come up and, what's going on with Russell Wilson? Who's calling now? It is over, Nick. He will be there for a very long time. It's dead. It's done.
And it should be noted for the audience, maybe new viewers of the show or people that aren't able to watch every day, the very first person, before Russ even went on the Dan Patrick Show and kind of started this speculation, the very first person to talk about there being some drama in Seattle related to Russell Wilson was Brandon Marshall. And now Brandon Marshall can cap that off by being the person that ends this story saying they have had a meeting of the minds. And if we're being honest, Russell Wilson has won the power struggle in as much as understanding what you have. And that was the concern that I had for the Seahawks, Pete Carroll and John Schneider. Were they going to understand that whether they thought Russ was being irrational or unreasonable or a diva, even if they thought he was being all of those things, it's totally immaterial because he is the key to you being a relevant franchise. And Brandon, while you were talking there, you mentioned Kobe, and it just spurred something in my brain. Because Kobe, we remember him for a number of things, but one of them is Laker for life.
I know exactly where you're going.
But that almost didn't happen.
Right.
Kobe went on
it was almost done.
Stephen A's radio show 12, 13 years ago and said, I don't think it can work out. Was ready to be traded to the Clippers. Back before people had camera phones, when you actually had to have a camcorder in your hand, he happened upon some guys in a parking lot who had a camcorder, and he torched his teammates, said, "You want me to play with Andrew Bynum? Like, you got to be kidding me." And what did the Lakers do? Did they trade Kobe Bryant? No. They traded for Pau Gasol, and he got that next act of his career that included 3 straight trips to the finals and 2 championships, and which what allowed him to be a Laker for life. So Russ didn't Russ didn't torch a teammate the way Kobe torched Andrew Bynum, but he did torch his teammates a bit with the offensive line. And he didn't say, "I can't be a Seahawk the way Kobe did with the Lakers on Stephen A's show," but he did give you a list of teams. And it sounds to me like what you're reporting, not sounds to me, clearly what you're reporting is the Seahawks are coming to the same realization the Lakers did 13 years ago. We've got to have this guy. It only works if we have this guy, so we've got to make this guy happy.
100%. I mean, Pete Carroll has done it one way for a very long time. Both of these guys want to win. I was there. I spent the whole year there. And I'm telling you this is not coming from Russell. This is not coming from the Seattle Seahawks organization, people I know in the personnel department. It's not coming from guys on the team that I'm close with. This is coming from my experience in that organization for a year. When we talk about relationship between head coach and quarterback, it's probably the most important relationship in football. They have a tremendous relationship. And it just took this. In this moment, Russell Wilson had to stand up for what he believes. Whether it's right or wrong, he had to do that. Russell Wilson, he wants to win. He wants to win with flair. He wants to win in a certain way. He's not happy and okay with winning 1 Super Bowl, not 2 Super Bowls. When we talk about Patrick Mahomes, when we talk about Aaron Rodgers, we talk about Tom Brady, he wants us to be talking about him there because that's what the greats believe. So this whole Russell Wilson thing and Pete Carroll thing, it just comes down to them finally having the conversation that they needed to have to get on the same page. Now, Kevin, remember, they drafted this guy back in 2012 in the 3rd round. So a lot of organizations, when you find someone in the mid rounds, the 3rd, the 4th round, or even the late rounds, it's like, "Oh, I did this. Oh, we developed him. We made that decision. We chose him over Flynn. We just paid Flynn, gave him a 2-year deal, $20 million, and we decided before the first game, we're going with Russell Wilson." Russell Wilson was a kid when he came in this league. He is a man now. He's a husband. He's a father. He's a businessman, entrepreneur. He wants to do big things. He wants to own MLB teams, MLS teams, NFL teams. He wants to do it all. So now they have to respect him as such, and now after this conversation, they're on the same page. I truly believe that.
Okay. Brandon, you know when you see firefighters putting out a fire and there's no longer huge flames, it's pretty much done, and they're still there spraying all the water, like, wow, they are really soaking this place. It's because they want to make sure that there's not even one tiny ember that could start up again. We've got to play the whole season. I don't think the Seahawks are going 16-0. And I saw in New England when there was rumors of problems, Tom Brady and Bill Belichick won a Super Bowl, and he still wanted out. What do you see in the future that could re-spark a flame that sort of divides Russ and the Seahawks?